Sir, are you okay with standing back? Madam, lovely. Keep behind that yellow line, the line that comes through. It will need to be kept clear. So ladies and gents, this is our Inshore Lifeboat, the Fred Diable 2. She's a 7-metre aluminium hull vessel, and unlike most inshore lifeboats are fiberglass hull and they are powered by outboard engines, petrol engines, sometimes two, and they have a fast response time. This is a diesel-powered 292 horsepower engine. We were patrolling the safety area for the fireworks on Great Yarmouth Beach the other night, and getting from here to the outer harbour and doing a couple of patrols round, we used about 40 litres of diesel. So, you imagine the fuel bill of this. She is towed by the Talus tractor, an ex-RNLI tractor. We picked her up for a few £1,000s, relatively cheap, but they cost £1 million to build. And you can effectively put an extension on the exhaust pipe and drive them underwater. Ladies and gents, if you just make sure that you keep the slipway clear, we need everybody well out of the way. There's a yellow line here. If you can keep well behind that for safety reasons, the lifeboat's about to move through. If you can get your bikes down on the beach, up on the sea wall, please keep well out of the way. So the Inshore Lifeboat is usually crewed by 2 people and launched by a third, and it means that we can be very quick to respond. The all-weather lifeboat, which is soon followed down the slipway, usually has a crew of between 4 and 6, depends on the job that we've been given by the Coast Guard. But the Fred Diable 2, she was built in Great Yarmouth at Alicat Workboats on Sampan Road, and it was just amazing to have one of our lifeboats built in Great Yarmouth. The performance of her, she will do 35 knots, so that's getting over 40 miles an hour, 42, 43 miles an hour. If you're in trouble, if you're on a paddleboard, if you are swimming in a kayak, if there's dogs, whatever, we can get out pretty quick and rescue, and it's a brilliant boat to work from. Smooth and quiet. So ladies and gents, sorry, we've had a warning from the coxswain. Anyone who's on the slipway, please can you step further back. There's a yellow line, so if you can go right back against the track of the tractor, you're at risk. Right, okay, but if they're in front of you, they'll get hit before you, sir. So if you can stand well back, otherwise the lifeboat cannot launch. Thank you very much. So the Boss 4501, the new lifeboat that's about to come down the slipway, everybody's now on board. She is pulled by a Caister 845 tractor, which has spent the bulk of her life working on farms, but we then took her to North Bolton, where they took her completely to bits, and then they put a stainless steel tank around everything that could go wrong with water ingress, and that means that she can now go into the water, but she's a heavy beast with a heavy carriage, with a heavy boat, and so we decided that we were going to keep the old tractor just in case. It's very soft. Sometimes it happens, might happen today, who knows, but sometimes the beach is very soft, and this kit needs extra muscle to get it out of the water. So that really is quite a spectacular day. Can't promise it's going to happen today, it might do, but it will be there just in case. the Medina class lifeboat, just again make sure everyone stays well back. Or someone like yourself to have their name on the side of the boat, and that helps us. We've raised several £1,000s with that now, and it means an incredible amount to all of us that you have all wanted to be part of that. So we did an update. The letter S was the last bit that we've done, as it's a rolling programme, so the more money we get, the better things are for us to keep in service. As you can see, she's a big boat, and she's on a big carriage, and yeah, she makes her mark on the beach. Powered by two Scania D31s. You're looking at 1,300, nearly 1,400 horsepower between the two engines. Driven on Hamilton jets. She sucks water up through the hull and fires jets of water out of the stern end. And those jets can be directed, which allow you great speed but also great manoeuvrability. And as the demonstration will show you when it starts up, the boat can go forwards, she can go backwards, she can do an emergency stop, she can spin on the spot, and she can also go sideways, which is very helpful when you've got a vessel on board alongside. So sometimes, I mean, for example, on Thursday we had a shout. The Coast Guard requested us to go to rescue a motor cruiser which had lost engine power. They got the engines going again, but they had no steering. They were under tow by the Wells Lifeboat, and we picked up that tow just east of Cromer Pier, and we brought them back. So we were in the water. The pager went off for us at 12:42. We were in the water within 10 minutes, and we were on the scene in under an hour, just east of Cromer. So that's 27 miles by sea to get around there. And we attached the tow, and we then brought the vessel back. So when we got off Lowestoft, we then shortened the length of the tow. The weather had a bit of chop in the water, so you have a long tow rope so that it takes tension out of the tow. And then we shortened the tow so we've got more control coming into the harbour. And then as soon as we were through the pierheads at Lowestoft, we then moved the casualty vessel onto our side. So we chose to put her on the starboard side, absolutely tied her on tight, and then we moved her all the way through the Bascule Bridge, through the Goldwyn Bridge, up to Walton Broad to the Haven Marina, and we left her there. But it was a movement of the vessel being pushed sideways onto the berth, which is just the safest and the easiest thing for us to do. And this vessel and the previous vessel, Bernard Matthews 2, give us the ability to do that. So ladies and gents, just while we get ready, you can hear the engines start up on the Medina class 4501. And just let you know that we are going to continue with the barbecue, and we're going to continue with the music as well. The Lee Vasey band will be striking up once these displays have concluded. So don't go anywhere just yet. So you'll notice that the lifeboat is being backed into the water with a slight northeast point on her. This is because the state of the tide, although it looks fairly smooth and there's not really much going on with breakers, the tide is ebbing, so it means the tide is going northwards, so it just makes it a bit easier for the carriage to actually point towards the tide when you're launching, and point against the tide when she's coming back in. And the reason for this is because the tide can have a big impact over the manoeuvrability of the lifeboat, so you don't want to cause any damage on the way back into the carriage. So you make it so that actually the tide will take you away from the danger if anything doesn't align at the last minute. So you hear the engines now firing up, off she goes. Just turning in towards the starboard, taking a nice wide circle around. She'll give a fly past in a moment. You can see the way that she planes around so that the front of the boat, the hull will start to lift out of the water. And once that white paint starts showing, that's when she starts to fly. So if you're looking, the Inshore Lifeboat has lost one of its members of the crew, so you can follow overboard. There will be an overboard exercise report to find one or the other of the boats. I haven't noticed which one yet. It's on standby to go and perform that rescue. Look how the speed of Medina has slowed down. You'll see that she's sitting a bit heavier in the water, and as the throttles come up, so does the bow. So while the crew of the Inshore Lifeboat are rescuing the casualty, the Medina is now turning on the spot. And this is performed by using the directional jets, but also the steering as well. You can work them against each other all in a way which allows you to then have a great control over the movability of the boat. You'll see that she can move sideways as she is at the moment, partly influenced by the tide, but it means that you can then get into tight spaces if you need to in a harbour setting, for example, or get alongside a stricken boat or a boat that's gone aground, or move in around sandbanks. There's many different reasons why you might need that function on this lifeboat. So if you notice the difference of what the Medina has got compared to what a boat such as the RNLI Shannon class lifeboat has got, we've got a big rubber tube around the top of the hull, whereas other lifeboats have got a smaller, harder piece of rubber, usually D-shaped, which is there to protect the boat from rubbing against others or harbour sides. But the way that this rubber tube works on our lifeboat is that it allows you to go alongside other vessels. It gives means that we then have the ability to easily pick people up if they're in the water, so kayakers, swimmers, paddleboarders. But there's also been incidents as well where we've had to get casualties off another vessel, a medical evacuation as it's called. And what we can do, if there's a bit of swell in the water, it makes it very difficult and dangerous sometimes to get our crew onto a boat and then to get a casualty back to the lifeboat. And so what you can do, you can actually both power forward through the sea state, and that rubber tube allows you to lock onto the hull of another vessel, and it provides a very safe bond. So there's a man in the water, signal being given on the bow of the Medina class lifeboat. They're heading off towards, they will use the tide. So, where I said we're on an ebb tide, so they're going to come in from the reverse side. The risk if you go in with the tide behind you, you've got a square end of a boat being hit by a tide, you don't have control. So you put the pointy end of the boat into the tide, and that means that you've got much more control. You power forward slowly towards the casualty, you can talk to the casualty. The last thing you want to do, and if you are in the water, and I've been man overboard myself for this kind of exercise, it's a very frightening thing when a boat that big comes that close to you. So you need the boat to be under full control. So full manoeuvrability, you'll see they're very close to each other. The crew now leaning over, ready with a boat hook. And there, they've made contact with the casualty. Arms locked. Just as the boat moves around and it all goes out of view, the casualty will be lifted over. We've got stretchers on board as well. There's a hoist on the side, so if anyone has a suspected back injury and if someone fell off an oil platform or gas platform and ended up in the water, there's a very serious risk they could have a serious neck or back injury. We've got a stretcher, we've got a hoist, so we can use that and get the casualty out without any further risk of damage to their spine or central nervous system. Ladies and gents, I don't know if anyone has seen a gold-coloured ladies' watch, but a lady here dressed in the purple coat has lost hers, and so if